If you want to work with text in Python, then you need to know about the class called string or str. It allows you to create strings in Python. On my screen, we have the Python shell, which I'll use to show the results of running my program, which we see on the right. It's called str_demo.py. I'll go ahead and run this with run menu, run module. So what we have in here are demonstrations of how to work with strings. First of all, strings can be created with either single or double quotes, and when you print them out, it makes no difference. You can see the single and double quoted strings appear exactly the same. One of the reasons why you might choose to use one quote over the other is that you want to contain a particular quote within your string. So if you wanted to use double quotes as part of your string, then you can contain the entire string within single quotes. Or similarly, if you wanted to use a single quote inside your string, then you could contain the entire string within double quotes. And we can see that it'll allow you to print the type of quote that you're enclosing, like the double quotes or the single quotes. It's not required to do that. Anytime you want to use a quote within a quote, if it's the same type of quote, you can escape it by using a backslash in front of that quote character. So we have a escaped double quote or two within double quotes, or we have an escaped single quote within single quotes, and the effect is the same. You're allowed then to use that quote within that string. There are some other special escape sequences beyond the quotes. We have \n if we want a new line. There's \t for a tab character. And because the backslash is used as an escape character, you even have to escape the backslash to get a backslash. So we can see the effect of using \n creates new lines, \t creates those tabs or columns, and the double backslash allows you to print just a single backslash. Python does have a mechanism to avoid interpreting the escape sequences called raw strings. So if for some reason you wanted to print out \n or \t or double backslash, all you need to do is create your string as a raw string by prefixing it with the letter R. And notice then that those new lines or those tabs or those backslash escape sequences are not interpreted. Let's look at several of the operators and functions available to strings. We'll start off with this text called sub_text, which contains the string double. We can see that subtext is equal to double. One of the simplest operations that you can do is concatenation. By using the plus operator, it'll combine two strings together. So subtext plus subtext is double plus double, and we end up with that double-double string. You can also do what's called repetition, which looks like multiplication. In this case, we might have a underscore character repeated 40 times, and you see how that creates this nice line across the screen. We have a length function, which will tell you how long a string is. The word double is 6 characters long. We have a min function to give you the smallest value within that sequence of characters. In this case, B is the lowest character in that Unicode table. And the max function would give us the largest, or the U value. For testing whether or not one string is part of another string, you can use in or not in. We could check to see if double is in quote 2 or subtext is in quote 2. Quote 2 is double quoted. We could also check to see if it's in the string quote 1, which is single quoted. With subtext not in quote 1, that would be true because that was single quoted, not double quoted. It's not in that quote 1. On the other hand, subtext or double is in the string double quoted, which is quote 2. So we see that that returns true. There are many different methods available for strings. I'm just going to look at a few of them. There's many more. The word or the string y1 is she said, comma, quote, hello, exclamation point, quote. With the count method, we could count how many characters or substrings there are that are E. In that case, there are 2. You can also check the index or position of a character within a string. Be careful of using this method because it can give you a value error if the substring that you're looking for is not a part of the other string. But since we already have counted 2 E's, we can find the index position of the first one, which it returns 2. And if we look at that string, the E is in the third position. The index is 2 because it uses 0-based indexing. 0, 1, 2. It's that third position with an index of 2. Now, with the index method, you can search at a particular starting position going up until a particular ending position. Since we already found one at position or index 2, we could start at index 3 to go find the next one and go all the way through to the end of the string, which is 18. But looking for an E somewhere between index 3 and 18, we find that there's one at 12, which is the E in hello. A safer method instead of index is find. If you use find and the string that you're trying to find is not contained in the other string, then it will return a -1 instead of raising a value error. So we see that capital X is not in that string. Another way for testing for the presence of a substring is to see if the one string, like y1, starts with another string. In this case, she said hello definitely starts with she, so we see that returns true. It also ends with an exclamation point double quote. Notice the use of the escaped double quote here. And so that also returns true. There's a number of different formatting type methods in the string class. Upper will change the case to uppercase. Lower will change the case to lowercase. As you can see, all upper or all lowercase characters were made out of that string. If you want to break up a string on a certain character, say a comma, you can use a split method. Notice the new string CSV is A, B, C. If you use that string split method on a comma, then it will return a list of all the substrings separated at that split character, not including the split character itself. So we can see in this case something called a list that has 3 elements, the string A, the string B, and the string C. If you have a list or a tuple of elements, some kind of sequence of elements, you can use join method of a string to combine them together again. The corollary to split is join. Since I split on a comma before, I could now use that same comma to join that list of characters back together again to recreate the original string A, B, C. And finally, we might mention that strings have a number of inspection functions. Is this and is that. For example, is alpha will be true if the entire string is only alphabetic characters. Is digit will be true if it's only characters 0 through 9. So with our string double, it is alpha, it returns true. It is not digit, so that returns false. There's more to talk about with strings, but it also applies generically to other sequences like the lists and the tuples, so we'll get to that business about slicing these sequences later. For now, that's a good start on understanding the strings in Python.